One of my favorite things that I haven't gotten a chance to ask you about yet is there was something I saw where you jumped on and somebody was like, how would you describe classic fight team? You're just like, big dick Muay Thai. What does big dick Muay Thai mean?
Oh man, I don't know. I was just like, we were filming my affiliate video for all my affiliates. And it was just something I said in the bloopers, you know what I mean? Like in the B-Real shit. But we're just like, it's a very aggressive style. My style is a very aggressive style. You know, I was raised in the shootbox system. It's a Brazilian Muay Thai system, very aggressive system. And I like to incorporate a lot of that with just a little bit more of a technical approach, you know, like technical aggression is kind of the more appropriate term for it. Right. But yeah, big dick Muay Thai, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of traditional Muay Thai, it's a very beautiful art, and but it's also a very tit for tat game. It's you go, I go. I'm going to display my art, and then you're going to answer back, and we're going to go. And for me, it's like, let's just run them over. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of been my whole approach is like, let's just be technically aggressive and run them over. Like we don't need to play this you go, I go game. Like I don't want to take damage if I don't have to take damage.
For sure.
You know, in Muay Thai, even the defense hurts, you know, like for me to check a kick and bang shins with you, that hurts.
Right.
So
rather just be on offense.
I'd rather just be offensive, and you know what I mean? I'd rather be offensive and then incorporate a lot of movement. You know, I've worked with a lot of high level martial artists like Raymond Daniels, who to me is one of the best kickboxers ever. Artist. And, but he helped me evolve my game a lot. At the same time, me helping him, he taught me so much about footwork and movement and range, to where when I applied that with our technical aggression style, it just really like changed the way we were performing in our fights.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I found as I was first training that was kind of bothered me a little bit is when we were tech sparring, we'd do like the 3 to 5 system where it'd be like, you throw 3 to 5, I'll defend, and then you throw 3 to 5, which I think is fine at first when you're trying to like
learn. Not to interrupt you, that's funny you say that, because I literally have my warm-ups for our sparring.
Yeah.
I make everybody do 3s and 5s. That's our thing. It's 3s and 5 warm-ups. You're going to throw 3, I'm going to throw 3. You're going to throw 5, I'm going to throw 5. And it's just to warm the combinations up, because if you're not throwing numbers, if you're not drilling numbers, if you're just throwing 1s and 2s, 1, 2, 3s, when the fight time comes, you're going to throw 1.
Right.
Maybe 2.
Because you're like caged out.
Yeah, but it's like if you're drilled to throw, if you're constantly drilling and training to throw 6, 7 strike combinations, 5 strike combinations, when the fight comes, you'll start putting 3, 4 punches together with kick. You know what I mean? You'll start putting numbers out there. But if you don't train to throw numbers, it's not just going to come to you in the fight. You know, like there's always an anomaly or like a exception to the rule, but it's how it is. If you're not programming your body for volume, you're not going to put volume out in a high stress situation.
Right. That's interesting to me, because what I found was that I almost had to like break myself of that 3 to 5 habit at some point, because I was doing that Muay Thai thing like you were talking about, where it was I go and then you go then I go. And so how do you like, where's the balance in that where you can have somebody who, like you say, just is like just on a tactical attack the whole time and doesn't wait to, you know.
I mean, they're definitely coming. You can't be on attack the whole time, right? Like you have to feel things out. You have to feint. You have to set traps and stuff like that. But the balance it comes from drilling, man. Like you have to drill every style to understand every style. So like when a lot of my guys aren't traditional Muay Thai guys, slow rhythm paced Muay Thai, we still drill like that. We still have nights where we drill that style. And then we have nights where we're putting pressure and we're just moving forward the whole time. And then we have days like today's drills were literally all based off of sticking our jab and then sticking our jab and pulling and answering, like being very evasive and very movement oriented. And it's like, you can't deal with any style unless you know that style. Right. It's like where MMA fighters are like, oh, I don't need to be a good wrestler. I don't need to be a good grappler. I just need good takedown defense. You can't have good takedown defense if you don't know how to execute a takedown.
Right.
They go hand in hand. You need to know how to perform the move in order to know how to defend the move.
Right. One of the things that I really like about your style is the same thing that I love about Will's style with jiu-jitsu is I've heard you say like over and over again, getting ready for this, that you can kind of like adapt to the style of the fighter that you're working
100%.
with. What is that? Is that something that you've always kind of been, is that always something that's been part of your coaching, or did you start with like, here's our framework and then we're going to like work outside of that?
Well, I mean, I've been a fan of the sport for so long, and even growing up, like my variety of my favorite fighters, I didn't have like my top 5 fighters. They didn't all fight the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if we're talking MMA, I loved BJ Penn growing up. BJ Penn to me was fucking amazing, but I also loved Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
So it's like, those are 2 different style fighters. You know what I mean? For me, if I'm running a gym in a building, I'm going to have guys that want to fight like Anderson Silva. I'm going to have guys that want to fight like BJ. I'm going to have guys that want to be brawlers. I'm going to have guys that want to be technical. So for me, it's always like, how can I accommodate all of them?
Right.
And the first time that I really like got to test that whole thing was with Raymond Daniels, actually. Raymond had fought in Glory against Joseph Valtellini, and this was before he came to me, and Raymond had been knocking everybody out because his unorthodox, I mean, it's really not unorthodox, it's traditional martial arts, you know what I mean? But for kickboxing, Dutch style, K1 style, Glory style kickboxing, he had a very unorthodox style that people were not used to seeing, and he's the best in the world at that style. He's won every single point competition, every single karate competition that you can win in the world. Like there's not a title in that sport that Raymond hasn't achieved.
Right.
And he had a lot of success early in his kickboxing career with it. And then he came up against Joseph Valtellini, who is a very great fighter, and realized that if I chop this dude's legs down, I'll slow down the machine. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. He chopped Raymond's legs down. Raymond got stuck in the corner and he kicked him in the head. And after that fight, a good buddy of mine, Angel Huerta, who was also a point karate guy, but a very high level MMA fighter as well, that I had been training, was friends with Raymond. They were on the same karate team, the All-Stars, growing up. And he was the one that sent Raymond to me. He was like, look, you need to learn how to defend low kicks, and you need to learn how to do some things that are going to be a little more traditional kickboxing style. So when he sent Raymond to me, I had just watched him fight. He had told me he was going to send me this guy, and I didn't know who it was. Right. But 2 nights before, I had watched the fight, and then he came, and I was like, "Oh, it's this guy. This is cool." And then I started watching him shadow boxing, watching him move around the room, and it was just like, "Whoa! Like this guy is different. His speed, his gauge of distance and everything. It's just on another level than any of these athletes I've seen. Why would I want to change that?"
What does it feel like as a coach to have a canvas that's like that?
There's nothing better. You know what I mean? To have such a high level martial artist that's also like, he came to me willing to change his style. He came to me willing to like adapt what I wanted to bring him. And the very first thing I told him was like, I don't want to change anything about your style. I want to add to your style. Like, and for me, it was to give him proper kickboxing defense. Teach him how to check kicks, teach him how to work high guard a little bit, like more Dutch style defense. But to change the way that he approaches offense, to me, that would have been ass backwards, because nobody can keep up with him. Nobody could really stop his movement, could stop his pressure, and nobody could time the spins and the crazy attacks that he did.
Yeah.
And like I said, he was the best in the world at it. So you could reach out to any karate guy you think and bring them into camp to prepare you for Raymond, but there was just nobody on that level. You know what I mean? And I've seen it. I've seen every fighter. When he would have an opponent, I would go look at the opponent's Instagram or their Facebook and see what they were doing. You know, and spy on them. And I would see, brought in this karate guy, and it was just like laughable. It was like that guy that guy's nobody compared to what Raymond can do with this distance. You know?
Right.
And like I said, for me, it was just like, I'm not going to change his style. I'm going to add to it. I want to be able to give him to defend all this traditional stuff being thrown at him, so that way he can just inflict his style on these people, and these people don't know how to prepare for that style.
That's so cool, man.
And then I get guys that are traditional Muay Thai guys that are very traditional, and it's very easy for me to work that style with them. I have guys that are MMA fighters who, okay, this is an MMA fighter. We need to sit a little lower. We're not going to be as tall. We're not going to be working as slow paced Muay Thai. It's going to, so you have to be willing to work around fighter styles. Not every style is going to be the same. You can't have a cookie cutter style for your team. I don't think that's the like the recipe for a successful team. I think you have to have multiple different styles of athletes, because now Raymond's in there helping Jeff, and Raymond's helping Diego with their style, but then Diego's showing Raymond how to do these elbows, and Jeff's showing this guy how to do these knees. And it's like, that's how you build, you know what I mean? Like each one teach one. You guys can all learn, and you just create your own style for yourself. And I'm just kind of there to add to everybody's fire.
Yeah, and like facilitate a bit.
Yeah,
that's interesting too, because I think that as a coach, I would imagine that you'd have to almost like set aside some level of ego to be like, there are guys in here that for their specific style, Raymond is going to be able to show everybody else some shit that like I haven't been to before.
100%.
So being able to like, how do you do that in a healthy way where people feel like they're empowered enough to like make classic as a whole better, instead of just show up, get what they need from you, and then bounce?
Well, like for me, like you said, set an ego aside. Like you got to have some. I feel like in this game you have to have an ego, right? Like you have to believe in yourself. You have to be overly confident. You know what I mean? To be successful in this game. Like back to Raymond, before he fights, he's literally right before we walk, he's looking in the mirror, telling himself like he's the greatest fighter that ever lived. Like nobody can beat me. I'm the greatest fighter on this planet. And he truly, genuinely believes that with all his heart. So you can call it ego, or you can call it self-confidence and self-awareness.
Yep.
But for me to set my ego aside, it's not hard for me. I've been around amazing fighters my entire career, and I'm not just my coaching career. Like when I was competing, I was in a room. I'm fortunate enough to never, I never had bad training. You know, like I've always been fortunate enough to, from the start of my training, I was with high level people and got put on the right path. And it was easy for me to just know, like, look, I'm not the best in the world. There's always somebody better. You can learn something from everybody. My goal is to be the best in the world. And if that's the goal that I'm chasing, and if I just keep chasing that, then I'll just keep getting better. Will I ever reach it? I don't know.
Right.
But like, if that's not the goal, then I'll never know, and I'll never get there. You know what I mean? So to set the ego aside and let everybody kind of also have a say in how we're training, and it's just, to me, it's like there's a lot of gyms are very old school. A lot of gyms are very old school, and it's my way or the highway. And that's where you see a lot of turmoil inside teams, I think. Like, I like to run, if I have two guys fighting, we're going to run all this week's training is going to be around what we think is best for these guys' fight. And then once their fight's done, if Raymond's fighting, we'll do this for your fight. And it's like, oh, if you don't like that style, too bad. You're going to drill it this week.
Yep.
And you're going to be 1% better because you did something out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? So I'm rambling and moving on, but like, it isn't even about setting the ego aside. It for me is like, I want to be the best, and I want to have the best team, and I want to make my fighters the best. I want my fighters to be elite. So I want to do whatever I can for them. And if that's changing my style, if that's studying, if that's, like if I'm on the road with a fighter who has a different coach, like, let's just say Jeff's on the road. We're going for Jeff. Jeff has a boxing coach, Chewy, Kai, whoever it is, I'm going to try and do a private lesson with that boxing coach while we're on the road. Because if I don't keep learning, I'm doing my students a disservice. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know that you've been known to like lace them up and also spar with some of your dudes.
Yeah, I try and spar, not every week, but like I try and stay active. Like I don't, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So for me is like one, that if I don't use it, I'm going to lose it. Two, you need to know who the fucking king of the castle is.
Right.
But whether I can kick your ass or not, you know what I mean? Like, this is my house. If we have new fighters that come into town, like, I'm going to put the gloves on. If I have a new fighter that's thinking he wants to train here, like, I'll train with him. Like,
see what they're made of.
Spar with him. And not even see what they made of, but like, let him know, like, look, I'm not just some coach that's going to fucking tell you, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you make sure you do it. It's like, no, here, I'll put the gloves on and you and me can get after it. And then you're going to decide whether you want to train with me or not.
Right.
If you getting the better of me in sparring makes you think you don't want to train with me, then that's your small mind. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, it's like, I'm always going to put my skills to the test, and I'm always going to teach things that I know that I can do. I'm not going to teach. A lot of coaches have a problem with showing shit. And it's like, okay, well, you showed that in the demonstration, put the gloves on and spar live and let me see you apply what you're teaching. And there's a lot of guys that can't. They're culture vultures. You know what I mean? They see shit online and they reteach it. They regurgitate some shit. And I see it a lot. I see it a lot and I see a lot of high level fighters buy into it. You know what I mean? Like there's local coaches around here that do that shit, and they just regurgitate stolen shit from online. It's like, well, how often are you sparring? How many fights did you have? And I personally, I don't think you need to have been a high level fighter to be a good coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes those that can't do at that level teach.
Look at Danaher.
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't been able
Danaher, there was, I mean, rest in peace, Sean Tompkins. Sean Tompkins was a great coach. I think he was, I don't even want to say what I think his record was because I don't want to disrespect the man, but he didn't have more than 2 or 3 fights, I don't think. Greg Jackson, one of the best coaches in the MMA game. I don't think Greg Jackson ever fought. If you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he ever competed. So I don't think you need it. For me, I needed it. Like I wanted my coach to have been in the fire. Right. And I've been in the fire. I fought, you know what I mean? I might not have ever reached the UFC or any of these high level shows, but I fought. I've been in the back room. I've stood at the curtain. I've had my knees buckling, my fucking heart racing. You know what I mean? Like I know what they're going through. And I think a lot of these coaches that haven't, that preach for you to do this, for you to do that, or tell you how to feel right before you're about to walk into the ring with somebody that wants to take your head off is like, don't tell me what I'm supposed to be feeling. Don't tell me how to manage my feelings if you've never felt it, you know? And now that I'm not fighting, the least I can do for my fighters to keep that fire inside of me is to spar with them. You know what I mean? Is to get some sort of real life, real activity with them. And then it also helps me get better. You know what I mean? There's guys in my room that are my students that will mop the floor with my shit if we fight. You know what I mean? Like I got guys that are just better than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're my athletes, they're my students, but they're fucking better than me. So I learn from them when I spar them. But they trust me. They trust me because they know I have their best interest at heart. They know I'm showing them battle-tested stuff that works. I'm not fucking regurgitating some shit I saw on an Instagram reel.
Yeah. Right? What does that do for the relationship? Because I mean, even I'm moving to Austin in a couple weeks, and one of my first things that I'm going to do is I'm like, I got to go to a gym where I can start training, because immediately socially, you go and you beat the shit out of each other for a couple hours, and like you make friends faster than anything. I think it's like one of the quickest ways to really understand who somebody is and like get connection on a deeper level. Yep. I can imagine that having that element also with your fighters and being their coach, I can imagine that there's probably such a higher level of like trust and understanding that you can have with that too.
100%. Like, we grind together. You know what I mean? We go through the tough shit together. We beat each other up, and it brings you closer together. You know what I mean? If your coach is always sitting on the sideline with a water bottle in his hand or sitting on the chair, coaching from the chair, I mean, how much can you trust him? You know what I mean? If he's not, for me is like a lead from the front. You should lead from the front. Like if I'm gonna create this pack and we're gonna be a dominant force, I'm not trying to lead from the sidelines. Like I'm trying to lead from the front. You know, I'll be the first one. If something cracks off at the fight, if my fighters get disrespected, like I'll be the first one in the fire with them. You know what I mean? That's
got to feel cool. You were talking earlier about like being behind the curtain, making the walk. I feel like having a team with you that you know that that's the reality of it, and it's not just dudes who are coaching from the corner and just like sitting there. That's got to feel that there's got to be some like intangibles even going into the fight, knowing that that's who you're with too. That's just like unmatched.
100%. Like for the old school MMA fans, if you're familiar with Shootbox, they were a very no nonsense team. You know what I mean? Like those dudes were aggressive, they were violent, and if you gave them a reason to crack it off at a fight, they'd crack it off. Like there's the old viral video of Cristiano Marcelo choking out Crazy Horse Bennett in the back room of Pride right before Vanderlei fought. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like we've had those situations. I've been in multiple situations where we've had to crack it off at fights before, and I know there's not a single fucking soft person on my team. Like, no matter who I'm with at the fights, if I'm with somebody from my team, like I know I have good people around me that'll jump. You know? Yeah,
we're good.
We're good.
For everybody who doesn't know kind of like how we got to the point now where classic is what it is, what are the things from your childhood and how you came up that people might need to understand in order to kind of like understand the subtext of where you've ended up today?
So I was raised here in Huntington Beach. I think a lot of people have a misconception of Huntington Beach. They think it's like this rich, like bougie, nice beach town, and it's really not. Like there's a side to it. Like, you know, you get down here by the beach and you see these nice houses, but it's not like that everywhere. There's a lot of drug abuse here. There's a lot of criminal activity here. You know what I mean? I feel like out of all the beach cities in Orange County, like Huntington Beach is the worst. Like, and it's a very violent town. Like you go downtown Huntington Beach on a Friday night, like, and you want to get in a fight, it'll be very, very easy for you to get in a fist fight. You know, like Tito Ortiz from Huntington Beach, Tank Abbott is from Huntington Beach, Razor Rob is from Huntington Beach. Like, this is like the old school early 90s, early 2000s MMA mecca, you know, was Huntington Beach. Like this is where it came from.
Not the place you want to randomly scrap some dude either.
100%. It's like being in Hawaii kind of, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows how to fight, or everyone at least thinks they know how to fight, and they will, you know? But for me, I was a pool table baby growing up, you know, like me and my brother were pool table babies. We were raised in a bar room, in a dive bar. Like we grew up, my parents were shooting pool. Me and my brother are playing with our toys under the pool table, you know, like, and directly across from the bar that we were basically raised in was HB Ultimate, where Tito Ortiz, Razor Rob, Tiki Gosen, all those guys trained. And me and my dad, we were always fight fans. Like me and my dad would watch boxing together growing up, and the old K1 videos on ESPN would come on late at night. My dad would come wake me up like 1 a.m. like, yo, what's on? Come out in the living room.
Would you get excited
on
at the
school
time?
night? You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. And like Pops would wake me up and I'd go sit in the living room. Me and him would watch like the old K1, like all the old Ernesto Hoost, Remy Bonjasky, and just the classic K1, you know, like the golden era of K1.
Did you see it as a fan, or did you see it as when you were a kid as like, I want to be one of those dudes?
I wanted to be a professional wrestler. Like I grew up loving WWE. Like when I was a kid, kid, you know what I mean? Like that was my dream. Like I loved WWF, WWE now. Like that was, and then as I got older, 12 years old, and started seeing the fighting, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Right.
That's like when me and him started like watching it like religiously all the time, and he was waking me up in the middle of the night to watch the fights, like, because they would be like the old classics that came on late at night, the replays, you know?
Right.
And he would wake me up to watch it, and it was like, whoa, this is what I want to do. I want to kickbox. Like I wanted to kickbox before I ever wanted to fight MMA. Like MMA, like K1 was the first thing I loved. Like I knew what K1 was before I knew what UFC was.
Right.
And back to the bar had that. So my dad, they would go shoot pool and drink, and they would drop me off at HB Ultimate. And it was literally like across the parking lot.
Did you have to ask him to go in? Like, was it your idea or was it his idea?
It was their idea. They asked me. They were
Crazy.
like, yo, this place is right next to the bar. Do you want to check it out? And I was like, yeah, 100%.
Just happens to be one of the best gyms in the area.
Yes. And my dad is like, my dad's a very old school dude. Like, my dad works his ass off, blue collar guy, but my mom handled bills. My mom handles everything. You know what I mean? So my dad had never had a credit card. My dad went and got a credit card simply to sign me up. Like the first time my dad ever used a card or anything was so he could sign me up there.
So cool.
And that's probably the last time he's ever used a card.
Right.
And this was 26 years ago.
Somebody's got to find that bill to make sure the Pops knew how the whole system worked.
The thing's it's probably bad right now. But so I would go over there and I would train. And when I was done, I would walk over to the bar and I would shoot pool with my dad and drink a Shirley Temple or soda or something. And that was up until high school. And then when I got into high school, I turned into a little shithead. And I would start ditching school and riding my bike all the way down to the gym. And I would go in the gym and I'd be in the heavy bag class and stuff. And they would raise a rob and then would be asking me like, don't you have school? And I would just make up a lie and be like, oh, I have 0 period. So I don't have class right now.
Damn.
So I'm just gonna, and they were like, okay, like, sure.
Did they kind of give you the side eye, or they were like, yeah, whatever,
No,
dude?
they're cool, dude.
Yeah.
They, you know what I mean? They were like they were what I was, you know what I mean? And I started with that. That's where I was at until I was about 16, 17. And then I had maybe like my freshman, early sophomore year of wrestling. I wrestled and I ended up getting kicked out of my high school for fighting and poor attendance, and ended up finding Kleber Jiu-Jitsu. And I started going to Kleber. And that is when Shootbox moved to America from Brazil, Rafael Cordeiro. And I remember being in the room and seeing Raphael come in, because I grew up watching K1 and Pride before I even watched UFC. And I remember seeing Rafael Cordero come into the room and sit on the bench. And I remember rolling with who now is one of my guys, Joe Murphy. And I remember being like, yo, dude, like, do you know who that is? He's like, I don't know, some black guy. I'm like, no, dude, that's like Vanderlei Silva's coach. That's Anderson Silva's coach. And they're like, really? Like, what? How do you know that? I'm like, it is. Like,
wild.
And then sure enough, class ends. Kleber brings him on the mat, introduces them and says they're going to be doing a partnership. And I was ecstatic, because jiu-jitsu and grappling wasn't what I liked.
What does it feel like when you're sitting there, like after class in that moment? Like, what's going through your head where you're like, what the fuck just happened?
I'm hyped, bro. Hyped, because like I said, like I got into this to do kickboxing, and here I am at a jiu-jitsu gym. You know what I mean? Now I'm at a jiu-jitsu gym. The reason I had left HB Ultimate was because Razor Rob kind of stopped teaching. He was amidst his huge WEC title run where he was just knocking everybody out, and he was my favorite instructor. So when he kind of stepped back from teaching, I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I had some friends that were at Kleber's, so I went there, and the kickboxing program was not what I thought it was, but the jiu-jitsu was amazing. Right. So I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I just saw Raphael come in, and I was like, okay, now it's about to start turning into what I want. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want. And sure enough, man, from day one, from the day I trained with Raphael, he gave me a job teaching their kids class. I was like 18 years old, 17 years old, gave me a job teaching their kids class. And they were a partner for a few years, couple years maybe. Mm-hmm. And then they split, and Raphael went and opened up. He left Shootbox and opened up King's MMA, changed the name to King's MMA. And I left with him, you know, and it wasn't any like disrespect to Kleber or anything. It was just like, this is like my style. Like, I want to be a striker. Like, I don't want to be a jiu-jitsu guy. I don't want to be a wrestler. I want to be a striker. So I'm going to go where the best striking is. And I was with him for about 8 years, and just things happened in life that kind of forced me to leave and do my own thing. And when I left, all of a sudden I was still teaching at Felipe Fogelin's gym. Yep. When I left King's, I was still teaching at Felipe's gym, and then 2-3 guys left too and showed up at Felipe's like, oh, we want to train with you. You left. Like, so it kind of fell on me. Like the responsibility to train some of these guys just kind of fell on me. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I was seeking it. I was coaching just to pay my bills. Right. You know?
Well, you got handed that kids class early. I mean, 17, 18 years old, that's to be handed that kind of responsibility. I hear a lot of coaches now talk about how instructing changes their game as a fighter. And for you to be that early in your career and be handed that, how did being in an environment where you've got somebody like Rafael Cordero as your head coach, but then you're also teaching kids at the same time, how did that transform like your trajectory?
I mean, teaching for sure made me better 100%, because when I wasn't training, I was still getting reps. I was still seeing things. I'm still reiterating techniques in my head and speaking them out loud. So it's like, when I'm not getting physical reps and I'm teaching, then I'm still getting my mental reps and verbal reps, reiterating what people need to be doing, what they need to be fixing. So it's like, if I'm not physically drilling it, I'm still mentally drilling it and verbally drilling it. You know what I mean? So that adds to my game. Pad holding. I feel like pad holding helped me a lot with my defense, because it helped my hand timing. You know what I mean? I have to catch the punches correctly. And now when I'm parrying punches and when I'm hand fighting, my hand fighting is elite because of my pad holding skills. Yeah. You know?
Right. Yeah. You know, like at the end of everybody's punch, you know exactly where you're at. That's interesting, man. Did you know at the time that that this was going to be a lifelong thing for you?
I mean, yeah, when I first started training at HB Ultimate, 12, 13 years old, like I knew I'm doing something. I didn't know if I was going to be a coach. I used to like doodle in my class, like I was terrible in school, dude. Like I did not pay attention. Like I got by cheating and copying off of people. Like I had zero desire to be there from freshman year but I would sit and doodle and make up team names. Like, and I remember like the very first one I did, like I was like, oh, I'm gonna call it Team Takedown, because I was wrestling and going to jiu-jitsu at the time. You know what I mean? And I would spell it like team this way, and then I would make it like a cross with the takedown going down this way. Like, just like I had like all these little ideas in my head, like I'm going to have this team, I'm going to do this. So it's like, it's always been been something I knew I was going to do. Like I knew there was nothing else I wanted to do. It was either this or I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And then as I got older and I started getting into trouble as a teenager and a young adult, I really knew like, yo, like you need to get back to this full time or you're going to go down a really different path. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I have friends in prison. I have friends overdosing. I have friends dying. I have friends shooting people. Like I have stories that we could go on for hours about, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I knew martial arts was going to be the one thing that kept me on a straight path.
Was there a moment that you looked around or that something happened where you were like, either I'm going to go this direction that all of my homies are going that are getting in trouble, or I'm going to go full time on this fighting thing?
Yeah. I did 6 months in jail when I was 18 and I got out and for probation violations and stuff like that. And I got out and told myself I was going to be better. And actually a block away from where we're sitting right now, that direction, I went to a house party and went inside, partied for a little bit. My dad called me, came outside to talk to my dad, went to go back in the house and two dudes were like, no, party's over. You have to leave. And I was like, man, I was just out on the phone. Like all my friends are inside. I need to go back inside. And they pushed me and were like, no, you can't go in. And they were talking shit too, you know what I mean? Pressing me. But like I said, I'm a week out. Like I just got out of jail and I turn around, I'm walking away trying to, you know what I mean? I want to go back to jail. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm on probation. Like I just did 6 months of county time. If I get in any serious trouble, I'm going to go upstate. I'm going to go to prison. Like I walk away and all of a sudden I hear feet scuffling and shit. And I turn back around and my boy George had been coming out of the house the same time that they were talking some shit to me. And my boy George just started swinging on him. My boy George is fighting two dudes over there. Now I have to go get involved.
Yeah.
So I got involved and I remember clinching this kid and I hit him with the knee and I had blood all over my pants. Fight finishes, we leave, we get pulled over leaving this neighborhood and my heart's just racing. I'm like, I'm for sure going back to jail. Like I'm fucked. Like I'm thinking my parents are going to fucking be so disappointed in me. Like I'm ruining my fucking life.
Yep.
I grab a sweater, I put it over my sweats and the cops come up to the window. And one of my best friends, Josh, his older brother's driving. Cops come up to the window and I'm lucky, like the older brother is like 20 something and he's well-spoken. He starts talking to the cops. There's a fight there. And I was straight with them. I was like, sir, I just got released from jail a week ago. I wasn't trying to be involved with the fight. So we left. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't want to be caught in that. And the cop, you know, believed my bullshit. And he was like, all right, you guys get out of here. And he let me go. And it was literally that right there. Like that moment I went home and I was like, fuck, like you got to get your shit together, dude. Like you really got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
And I was back in the gym within like a week training every day.
Damn. Did you train differently once you had that moment than you did before?
I mean, yeah, I was like, I was more grown up. So like when I was training before, I was a kid, you know what I mean? I was just training to train. For me, like I knew I wanted to do it for a living and I wanted to fight eventually, but like I was 15, 16 when I was training 13, 14. So it's like, I was training just to train and be a tough kid. You know what I mean? Know how to fight, know how to defend myself. But then now it's like, I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm 20. It's like, okay, I can fight now. I can compete. So yeah, I stepped the level of training up and it became literally like all I did. I was in the gym all the time.
What's up, everybody? We're taking a quick pause from the show to ask one small favor. When we were looking at the stats of the show, we noticed that most of the people that listen consistently actually aren't subscribed to the show yet. So the one ask that we have today is if you could take 10 seconds and whatever platform you're listening on right now, head over to our page and hit the subscribe button, and it would be a huge help for us. Growing our subscribers helps us bring on more awesome guests, and it really helps us build a community of people like you that we're trying to foster with this thing. So that's the one ask that we have. Please go hit that subscribe button, and let's get back to the show. So when you had that moment where you're leaving this house party, and you have this close call with the cops, and you start training afterwards, and it's like, all right, I'm not going that way. I'm gonna like do this thing. One of the things that I've found to be bullshit is that people get preached to all the time about how finding your calling is like this enlightened thing where like once you find your calling, your whole life is easy after that. And it's like sunshine and rainbows, you found it. What I have found for myself to be bullshit about that is once you find that calling, immediately so many things become black and white because it's either you're on the path and you're doing the things required to make that calling happen, or you're actively going against it. It's when people stay in jobs, marriages, whatever that aren't aligned anymore. So all of a sudden you have to make a lot of really hard decisions. I would imagine for you deciding that, okay, I'm not going to do this thing that all my homies are doing and ended up in those circles. I'm going to go fight. There's a lot of black and white decisions that have to be made there. So how did you go about just deciding and being like, no, I'm actually going to double down on this. And I'm not just going to say I'm going to fight for a week and then end up at the same house parties doing the same shit.
I mean, I loved it. You know what I mean? Like I loved it and I knew I was good at it. And it was very easy for me to separate myself with everybody that I went to high school with. I have to this day, I have like one friend, one of my best friends, Josh, is like the only guy from high school that I really still talk to. Like it was very easy for me to separate myself from them because I was never into drugs. Drugs was never a thing for me. Like that wasn't I never had a drug problem, and a lot of my friends had drug problems. There was drug problems growing up in my family, and for me, it was like that was never going to be me. Like I was not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like I drank, I partied, you know what I mean? Like I've had my party nights, but like a problem to where I was doing like hard drugs and shit. Like I knew for a fact that wasn't ever going to be my life. And when I started watching my friends do the shit they were doing, and you start to have friends overdose, you know, one of my best friends ended up committing suicide. Like my best friend, like my best friend that I ever had ended up committing suicide. Had multiple friends that I know overdose. I have 2 friends that are in prison, one for attempted murder, one for murder. It was inevitable. Like there wasn't like a fuck, I need to go do this. It was like, you have to go do this, or there's no other outcome. You know what I mean? It's not like I was the brightest fucking kid. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to go and get a crazy job. Like it was either I was going to fucking work construction like my pop, or I was going to fucking buckle down and do what I needed to do. And it was just so happened to be like, I was good at it.
Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier for me to make that decision because I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It's hard to enjoy something if you're not good at it. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
But I was good at it and it was a hobby. And I saw the flip side of what could happen, you know, and like I had a little 6-month taste of where I could end up. And it was just like, I don't want this for myself at all. Like,
yeah.
And for me, it was more like, I just want to make my parents proud. You know what I mean? Like that's like a huge thing for me.
Is it? Has that always been a thing for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, especially because of everything I did, you know what I mean? Like all the bullshit I did, like how many times my mom's had to pick me up from Huntington Beach police station. Like how many times my parents had to come and visit me at Theo Lacey jail, like all that shit. Like, man, that shit'll weigh on you. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, they went through so much. We didn't have a lot growing up, but we always had a roof over our head, and there was always love in the house. You know what I mean? Regardless of the struggles that they were going through and whether they were making bad decisions or not, like there was never a lack of love in the house. And we might have been kicked out of a few places here and there and had to find a new place to live, but like it always happened. Like we never went without the roof over our head, whether it was last minute scrounging to move and get over here. But like, so for me, it was like, I owe them that. I owe them making them proud of me. You know what I mean?
Right. Why not do the easy thing at that point? You said you didn't want to go down the construction path and do that. That's a really secure, safe, easy thing to do. And it gets you out of all of those things, right? So why at that time didn't you take the easy route?
I think that maybe goes back to like what we were talking about earlier, how everyone has a little bit of ego. And I think ego made me want something great. You know, my ego made me feel like I deserved to be something bigger than that, and to give my parents something more than that, you know?
Yeah, that's huge. It's interesting to me. I think fighting, music, podcasting, I'm finding so many parallels the more people that I talk to who are in those games, because there's a lot of construction tech. You pick your job that's like probably going to get paid pretty good and probably has a pretty like easy pathway to understand. You can look down the hall and be like, okay, well, if I keep doing this for 20 years, I'm going to end up in that corner office and like probably have a cooler house down the street. In games like fighting and music and whatever, that curve it's not like a stair step. It's not, you get a promotion, then you're good for a while. And then guess what? Another promotion. There's this undefined amount of time where you're just getting nothing for a really long time, and then you make it. But that that flat part of the curve is undefined. You don't know if it's going to be a year or 10 years. And so I'm curious for you, like looking down the barrel of knowing that you're going to do this fight game, knowing that it could be potentially a long time until it takes off. How did you in the early days deal with that? And how did you like have that motivation to keep going?
I mean, yeah, for like, right. I guess if I would have stayed and done some kind of construction job or done like, you know, I have friends that are longshoremen. I have friends that are union iron workers. Like if I would have done some kind of labor like that, I would honestly probably be better off than I am right now financially. I might own a home. I don't own a home in Huntington Beach. You know what I mean? Like martial arts hasn't given me that yet. Yeah. I own my own gym. I have a lot of freedom. I work for myself. I don't answer to anybody. I make my own schedule. I travel the world, but I don't own a home. You know what I mean? That house that I rent, that can be taken from me at any moment the second the landlord decides, you know what I mean? So I could have went a very secure route, but like I said, for me, making the decision to pursue this is like, I'm trying to look on the other side of things. Like I'm trying to look on the long term, like it'll come, the success will come, like the money will come, just stay the course and, you know what I mean? Keep doing. I didn't want to settle. I knew I was good at something. I knew I had a knack for this, and I knew that I knew I could make a living doing this. And you know, it's taken a little bit longer to be as financially successful as I'd like with it, but I'll never give up on it, and I'll do the shit until I literally can't walk anymore. So
yeah, for sure. That's it's interesting to me that transition. We were talking a little bit about it earlier, where you kind of had a spot where you said that you just like got thrown into coaching, right? You end up in a spot where you're coaching these kids' classes, kind of building your pedigree as you're fighting. And then we were talking earlier about how you ended up kind of having like some high profile guys right at the beginning of your career that launched your coaching career as a whole. What was that like? And what was it like being with guys who immediately you're not the guy who's training hobbyists in the corner, but it's like, welcome to the show, dude.
So the first one for me was actually Spencer Fisher. A lot of guys, I have high level fighters right now, and I'm sure there's high level fighters in the UFC right now that don't know who Spencer Fisher is, but Spencer Fisher is a veteran, a UFC veteran. He has some of the most fight of the night accolades. He was an amazing fighter, right? And he had came to Kings to train with Raphael while I was there still. And the second he landed he was a Militich guy from Bettendorf, Iowa. And the second he landed in California, Raphael was actually flying to Brazil to film the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. I believe it was Vanderlei Silva. And Spencer was just like, I just flew out here, paid for a month, 2 month Airbnb or hotel, and you're leaving? He's like, yeah, but I'm going to give you this guy. And he left me in charge of Spencer's camp, basically. And I can tell at first Spencer was like, what? Like, I was 24 at the time. I'm a young kid fighting Muay Thai and like not even really fighting MMA at the time. And I could tell that Spencer was like, what is this? Like, this is not what I flew out here for. And then we started training together, and he slowly started to be like, oh, okay, I get it, you know. And then we clicked on a personal level as well. We had the same taste in music, same taste in movies. So we started hanging out while he was there for camp. And then we flew out, and the fight was Sam Stout versus Spencer Fisher 3, co-main event on UFC FX4. The main event was Clay Guida versus Gray Maynard. This is the first time I ever cornered a UFC fight. And Spencer put on an amazing performance. He got fight of the night that night. Of course, it was his third trilogy fight against Sam Stout. And the judges gave the fight to Sam Stout, but everybody knows Spencer won that fight. You know, Dana went on television and said, like, you don't take Spencer down at the end of every round and do no damage and win the fight. Like, Spencer should have got the nod. Hence why they gave the bonus to Spencer.
Yeah.
So flash forward a few months, Spencer calls me and he's like, look, I'm going to fight again. I'm fighting Yves Edwards. I don't want to come back out there. I want you to train me. I want you to come out here. I want you to be my coach. So I moved out for 2 months and lived in Spencer's basement in Bettendorf, Iowa, and trained with him, went everywhere with him. And yeah, man, I knew like, right then I knew like, this is going to be big. Like this is something like I'm very young, but I'm already touching the surface. I'm scratching the surface of this thing. And then, unfortunately, 12 days out from the fight, Spencer was mid-30s. He has to do certain medical exams that younger fighters don't have to do. And we go to get his CT scan and all the scans done. And it comes back that he has a cerebral brain edema. And the doctor basically tells him, like, I could never clear you to fight. Like, if you get hit wrong once, like, you can die. And seeing that on Spencer and seeing the way that affect, like watching this dude who in my eyes, like, sure, I'm coaching him, but like, I'm looking up to this dude the whole time I'm coaching him. Like, I've been watching his fights. I've been like, I've got to play it cool. Like, I'm a coach. I'm coaching Spencer, but in my mind, I'm like, fucking coaching Spencer Fisher. You know what I mean? And watching him break down the way he did, and knowing like, and telling me like, this isn't how my story's supposed to end. Like, I'm supposed to go out on my terms. Like, I'm a warrior. And seeing him break like that was like gut wrenching. And then having to go sit with him and his family, like, whose family don't even know who I am really. You know what I mean? They're like, who's this guy you brought from California that's staying in our basement, who's now sitting on our couch while you tell us that you don't know how you're going to provide because you're never going to be cleared to fight again. For me, that was all like, whoa, this is real. Like, this is real life. Like, this isn't just like game. This isn't basketball. This isn't baseball. Like, this is real life. Like, there's real consequences to this game. And for me, that was like that was my introduction to like the big show. It was like, I got to go with him. I got to be a part of it once. And then the second time we went to do it, I got to see some of the most serious results of what the fight game is and how brutal it is. So, that was the end of that. I came back home, and my guy, Joe Murphy at the time, who is one of my guys, been with me the whole time. We actually went to middle school together, and we've been in this journey the whole time together. He teaches the jiu-jitsu at my gym. He's the black belt instructor at my gym. Pro fighter, 20 pro fights, stud. At the time, he was managed by Paradigm, and Paradigm managed Tony Ferguson. Joe Murphy just so happened to be at Paradigm one day at the office and met Tony Ferguson there. They started talking about where they train. And Tony was like, oh yeah, I want to come train. I was like, cool. And Joe messaged me. He was like, yo, Tony Ferguson wants to come train. In my head, I was like, cool. I don't think he's really going to show up, Right. And sure enough, Tony shows up. And this is right after he lost to Michael Johnson. And Tony showed up, and man, we went on a tear together, like we were together 6-7 fights, undefeated. Guy was on a tear, and then just had like a little bit of some difference of how to approach things. Me and him did, and I needed to. I just removed myself from it, But that was like Spencer Fisher to Tony Ferguson at 24 years old, 25 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I got thrown into this coaching thing with these guys that are at the highest level, most elite level, and they trusted me. And I have to give credit where credit's due. I think me being coaches to Spencer and Tony it plays a big role in a lot of my early success and how a lot of eyes got put on me and my team and all my guys that were already with me and were representing the team, but we're still on a lower level fighting on the regional scene. How we got eyes on us was because I was training those two guys. And then in comes Raymond Daniels, like we talked about. Yeah. So now I have Spencer Fisher on my resume, Tony Ferguson on my resume, who's on a tear. And I have the #1 Glory kickboxer on my resume. And I'm right here in SoCal. And from that, it kicked off, dude. And it was like wildfire. And it's been like that ever since. Like, the team's just been cracking ever since.
Damn. Was there a moment during training any of those guys that you went from, you were saying that you were almost like a fan of these dudes at the same time where you're like, yeah, bro, I'm fucking training Spencer. That's crazy. But having to like be a coach still, was there ever a moment where you looked at yourself and you were like, no, I'm really about this shit. Like, I got it. Was there a moment where that set in where you're like, go from being the young kid who got a really cool opportunity to, no, I'm just supposed to be here?
Yeah. I mean, those are like inner battles that you have, right? Like I to this day, I have a problem with like, sometimes being a pessimist. Like, I try my hardest to be optimistic about everything, and like, I talk to my dad about this a lot because my dad's a pessimist. He's always like, oh, this is probably what's going to happen. And I'm like, dude, don't fucking think like that. Like, you think that into existence, it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I always tried to be like, I know I'm good. I know, but like, there's also times where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Yep. You know what I mean? Like, should I be doing this? Like, am I the right guy for the job? But I mean, I feel like unless you're just 100% fucking confident, arrogance, like everyone has that stuff in the brain. You know what I mean? The devil and angel on the shoulder. Like, but yeah, I mean, it was then, like, it was like right then when I was coaching those 3 dudes and then just kept seeing more up and coming guys like, yo, he wants to train here. Hey, this guy wants to train here. Hey, this guy wants to train here. It's like, hey, like, I guess I'm doing something right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then it was like, okay, now I have to really start taking this serious. Like I have to start upping my coach. I'm not just teaching a class now. You know what I mean? I'm not just running a class that these guys are taking. Like these guys are trusting me with the way that they take care of their families. Like,
and which you saw pretty much right out the gate.
Yeah. I saw that, like I said, I saw the hardest, the highest high and the lowest absolute low that you can see. And I saw it right off the gate the first time, you know what I mean? And, yeah, it was like, you need to take this very seriously. You need to study. You need to make sure, like I've always had a notebook with me and I would write all my classes out. If this guy was fighting this guy, I would study the tape and I would write all the notes out that what we need to work for this camp. Like I did that for Spencer. I did this for Tony. I did that. And it just made me take the game a lot more serious. You know what I mean? Like, you know that this isn't just the regional scene. These aren't just hobbyists that you're cornering at little local amateur smokers or amateur Muay Thai fights. Like these guys provide for their families this way and they're trusting you to give them the best possible coaching that you can. So for me, it was like, that was another thing that just kept me on the straight and narrow. Is like, I can't be out fucking off with friends that are making bad decisions.
Yeah.
When I've got 5 guys at the highest level that depend on me to help them provide, you know what I mean?
100%. Was there at the beginning of your career, once you start seeing some of these things start to come together, did you have your eyes set on any like mountaintop moments where it's like, damn, if I can, put a guy to this level, or if I can get to this fight, did you have any of those like goals as a coach that you were looking towards that were like, once I get to this point, then I've made it as a coach?
I haven't reached them yet.
Really? Have you reached any and then looked back and been like,
yeah,
just like flown past them?
I told myself I would put the Classic Fight Team logo on my neck when I coached to my first world title that was from a high level organization, not just like a local promotion championship belt. Mm-hmm. And that was when Raymond Daniels beat Kareem Gaji. I believe we were in Budapest. We might have been in Italy. I'd have to look at the record. He beat Kareem Gaji, skip knee, opened him up, world title fight, Bellator kickboxing. And that for me was like, I'm a coach to a world champion. And not only am I a coach to a world champion, it's a guy that I know used techniques that we trained. You know what I mean? Like, using stuff that we worked, using stuff that I helped him develop. And that was like, okay, like I'm on the path and I'm on the right level and I'm here to stay. I'm going to do this forever.
What's that moment like when you watch him win that?
Amazing, bro. Like I said, this sport is literally, as cliche as it is, you hear it from everybody, but is the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Like you see that happen and it's just like this explosion inside of you, like everything just fucking like an eruption. You know what I mean? Like you just want to fucking, you know what I mean? It's just nothing better. You're fucking, everybody's screaming. The crowd's going crazy. You just watch somebody that you care deeply about, like achieve something that only 1% of the world will ever even dream of achieving. And you're a part of it. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing.
Damn.
Like I said, I've been on the opposite side of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've been on the opposite side where TJ Dillashaw versus Aljamain Sterling. We're on the other side of the world. This is TJ's opportunity to get his belt back, and his shoulder comes out in the first round, and the fight went the way it went. And it's just like, it's just gut wrenching. You know what I mean? Like, and then even with when it's not like a freak accidents like that with the shoulder coming out, you have a guy lose in a fight on the big stage, and you're just like, what? Fuck, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Like, what should I have done something better? Did I fucking game plan wrong? Did I not see something that I should have seen when watching tape? Like,
yeah.
So it's like it's a very bipolar game, bro. You know what I mean? It's a very bipolar game. Like some days you think you're the best and you think you're on, and then something happens and now you're questioning everything. Like, what the fuck is my system fucking wrong? Do I need to change? Am I outdated? Has the game passed me? Like.
Right. Yeah. Francis Ngannou was talking on an interview about losing and walking around and just thinking that like the lady that's at the grocery store, you think that she knows, and everybody around you is like, everybody who looks at me is like, oh, you're that loser I saw on TV last night. Which is a crazy feeling, man. I mean, I played like small college football, and I just remember when I was playing, I thought that everybody in their city knew whether we won or lost. We knew how you played, everything like that. Just once I graduated and I was like 2 years out of the game, it was like, nobody was paying attention. They don't even go, like, what are we talking about? Which is obviously a lot different on a different stage. But one of the things that you've said that I paid a lot of attention to is you said that like fighting is the most selfish game.
100%.
And I think that it, you talk about how it kind of has to be, right? When you're a fighter, you have to be, I mean, your body is everything.
You're all in on yourself. Like,
what's that like on the other side though? So being a coach and
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
As a coach, you need to be the most selfless person. You know what I mean? As a fighter, you have to be selfish. It has to be all you all the time. Like if you're trying to chase big dreams, big goals, like now, sure, obviously you fight and then you come back and there's a time to be selfless and help your training partners and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's a selfish game, because if you don't prepare yourself correctly, this isn't you lost a round of fucking baseball. Like this is some dude put his shin upside your head and changed your life. You know what I mean? So you need to make sure that everything is on point, from your home life to your diet, to your training, to your strength conditioning. Like everything has to be dialed in, and it has to be all you all the time. But on the flip side of that, it can't be about me ever. It can never be about me. You know what I mean? Like this game that I'm playing right now can never be about me. Mm-hmm. It has to be about my athletes at all time and what's best for them. And it fucking wears on you, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm on the road a lot. Like I have had moments where I didn't see my girl for 2 months, 3 months, because I flew from Japan, fight in Japan, had to come back to Texas, fly from Texas to the UFC in Germany, fly from there, come home, go here. And I can't complain about it. I just do it. You know what I mean? Like this is what I prayed for. This is what I asked for. Like I asked to live this life. I asked to be successful in this life, and I am. So I can't complain about it. But as a coach, like everything about them comes before me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the work they need, the places we need to go, the training that they need, everything, all their needs come before mine. Like as a fighter, you're selfish, and as a coach, you better be very selfless. Like,
what does it feel like? Because I think that the rewards on the fighter side are very apparent, because you can see them. You can see the mountaintop moments. You can see the belts. You can see the victories as they happen. But I think the victories that you have as a coach, I would imagine, probably happen with a lot less eyeballs on them.
They're more personal victories. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what are those
there's
like?
Something I take home that I celebrate with my family, or I celebrate with my girl. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, the guys at the gym, like, coach, congratulations. Congrats on the win. And I personally don't like that shit. Like, I don't like being like when my guy knocks out so-and-so, I don't like being tagged in it as congratulations classic fight team. Like, I don't like that shit. Hence why I don't do a lot of podcasts. I don't like to talk about me. You know what I mean? Like I'm a behind the scenes guy. Mm-hmm. And so the victories for me are like, they're just more personal. I get to go home at the end of the night. Like we just went to fight in Staples Center, and like, I get to go home and tell my girl, like, we want to fight, like we did it, like on the biggest stage, and like she gets to be excited for me, and that's all I need. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't need glory. You know what I mean? I've had my day. I've had my time in the ring. I've won 2 belts. I won a state title. I was the #1 ranked amateur kickboxer in California for a couple years. Like I'm good. I don't need the glory. For me is like, I want my guys to have glory, and then like I can celebrate in silence.
I'd imagine there's not a lot of guys who have felt both sides of that, who have had wins on the stages that you've had as a coach and as an athlete. I'm curious for you, like, what is the difference in how it feels training full time, being selfish versus spending your time being selfless and having essentially your entire thing be giving and putting other guys on a platform?
Now, I can't speak for how it feels for everybody else, but for me, it's, I'm a head case when it was my turn to compete. I didn't believe in myself. You know what I mean? Self-belief is what kept me from fighting at the next level, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel I had coaches that believed in me properly. And I think that hindered the way I believed in myself. So for me, competing was always scary. Oh, like, it fucking terrified me, bro. Like I was never like the guy that was like, fuck yeah, like I'm gonna go out there and fight right now. Like I was like, fuck. Like this is nuts. Like, what am I doing? Like, and for coaching is like, I still get a little bit of that fear. Mm-hmm. but it's not me. So I have to manage my emotions to not show any of that for them and to be there for them. And when they win is like, it's just a great feeling. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy seeing people I care about win and be successful. And to know I had a small part or a big part, whatever it is, like in it feels good. You know what I mean? Does it feel as good as it felt when I won a championship? Yeah, to me, it feels better, dude. Like it feels better because it's like, the way I look at it now is like those moments of me winning that belt or me doing that, like those are what allowed me to be at these bigger levels and to get these experience. I had to experience those things to get this. And like, I'm more grateful that I'm here now. You know what I mean?
100%. That's so cool, man. We were talking a little off camera about some of your goals and like as a coach and some of the visions that you've got. And you said that you've got a couple of homegrown guys who are like knocking on the door right now. What's it like being a coach and seeing the progression from guys who start with you and then get some of these big opportunities?
Yeah. Like, I've trained a ton of UFC guys. I've cornered more UFC fights than I can count on my hands, fingers, and toes. And it's always great. It's always rad. You know what I mean? I've been with Tony Ferguson. I've been with TJ Dillashaw, Andre Feely, Raymond Daniels. But those guys were all already Raymond Daniels. TJ Dillashaw was already TJ Dillashaw. Like that's product of Dwayne Ludwig. You know what I mean? Andre Feely was already Andre Feely. Like for me, I have guys like Jeff Craig and Blake DeCourcy they're right there. Like Jeff is fighting this weekend for CFFC. He's fighting for the 185 pound title. He's a welterweight, but he's got an opportunity. He's stepping up at 185. He just won the welterweight title for FLA in Canada. And all of his amateur fights are with me. All of his pro fights are with me. And this is the fight that when he wins this belt, they can't deny him. You know what I mean? Like he's already been knocking on their door. Mick Maynard was at his last fight in Dirty Boxing when he knocked the guy out in Dirty Boxing, and he's right there. And Blake DeCourcy is 5-1 as a pro, about to be 6-1. And he's been with me since he was 8 years old. He's 22. He was 7-0 as an amateur, and he's 5-1 as a professional now. And all of their training has happened under my roof. All of their competition has happened under my roof. And it means so much to me because it's an entire career worth of belief in me as a coach. And I just don't see anything else being more rewarding than watching them sign that first contract for the UFC when I've seen Blake since he was 8 years old. You know what I mean? In my kids class at King's MMA, little nugget in my kids class at King's MMA. And now he's the 6'1", 6'2" stud, beating people up. Jeff Craig moved his whole life over here from the East Coast, all of his amateur fights with me, all of his pro fights with me, and we're about to get signed to the UFC. And I think that is a true testament of what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like these guys could have came to me at 8-0 and not been in the UFC and then went to the UFC, and it's like, sure, but he was already good. He was already 8-0. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to have every single fight, every single piece of competition you've ever done be under the Classic Fight Team flag, that's a testament to what we're doing. You know what I mean? You can't deny us now. Like you can't deny, because there's not a lot of coaches around that can say they've done that can say they've taken a dude since he was 8 years old and took him to the UFC. That's taken a guy from 0 fights, all through amateur, all through pro, and took him to the UFC. So for me, that's like that'll be one of the biggest milestones in my career. That'll be bigger than winning the world title in Bellator with Raymond. That'll be bigger than me winning a state title as a kickboxer. It'll be bigger than me opening my gym. Like it'll just be amazing, bro. It'll confirm, it'll confirm what I've been hoping gets confirmed eventually. You know what I mean? Like what I've been working for. And like I said, you have the inner demons, the inner battles with like, should I be doing this? Should I not? Like when those two dudes sign that contract, like I'll know, like I got on this path, I stayed on this path, and it's the path that I was supposed to be on.
Damn. What a cool moment for them too, to be able to share that with you also.
Yeah, I'm hyped, dude. Like, I told Jeff's manager that like, I can't wait to see him sign that contract. You know what I mean? Like that shit's that'll be a fucking emotional moment for me, bro. Like, Christian Aguilera was one of my guys who he wasn't homegrown and he had a lot of fights before he came to me, but we had a lot of fights together before he got signed to the UFC, and watching him win his UFC debut in 36 seconds by knockout, like that shit made me tear up, dude, because we spent a lot of time on the regional scene and we spent a lot of time getting the door shut on us because he'd win 2 and then he'd get knocked out. He'd win 2 and then he'd lose 1. You know what I mean? And then when we finally fucking put on the streak and he got there, and the performance that Christian had in his debut was insane. It was just like, this is it, dude. Like, this is what I want. Like, I care about these people. I want to see them. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that I didn't feel that way when I watched TJ beat Corey Sandhagen, or I didn't feel that way when I watched Andre beat Artem Lobov or Dennis Bermudez or any of the other guys I've cornered it. But it's just deeper, bro. Like when I'm with these guys every day and for years and years, and then to see it come to fruition and watch their success is just like, it's an emotional fucking roller coaster, bro.
What a reward to be able to be there and like feel the whole thing too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's something else, dude. For sure. You can try and put it into words, and you can try and explain it to your normies that don't understand what fighting is. You know what I mean? A lot of people I feel that watch fighting don't understand what fighting truly is at its core. You know, like you get your 90% of the people in a local show watch their friend lose an MMA fight and they think their friend's a bum. They think their friend sucks and shouldn't be fighting. Oh, fucking so-and-so got his ass kicked last night. It's like, yeah, dude, so-and-so got his ass kicked last night by another dude that was training to kick his fucking ass. Like, how would you do in there?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like more than half of the people that watch MMA don't even understand what it is to us at our core. You know what I mean? Like, this is everything to us. Like, for people that aren't hobbyists, like we're not hobbyists. When people that are doing this for a living, like this isn't something that's like, oh, you lost a fight, you suck, or, oh, who cares, dude, you'll get him on the next one. It's like, dude, fuck you. Like, no, I won't get him on the next one. Like, I needed him on that one. Like,
yeah,
my fucking spirit hurts now, bro. Like, you want to go out and party afterwards because I lost, but like, I'm fucking broken inside because of this shit. Like, so it's a deep game, man.
Yeah. And to be in a position too, where you've got all those feelings yourself and you've got a dude who's going through the exact same thing, and you got to be able to like be the rock for him.
Yeah. 100%.
On both sides too.
On both sides. Yeah.
Celebrate the right way, lick each other's wounds on the right way, on the way afterwards. Yeah. No homo. Pause. Yeah, that's cool, man. So one of the things, I think that a lot of the things that you do are obviously in the public eye, right? Like every once in a while, me and Drew watch your fights together, like all of your guys. We were on the fucking bus watching them on like this like 3G Wi-Fi outside of a venue one day watching Jeff do his thing. So obviously a lot of like your products end up out in the public eye, and see your ass on the background of fights every time you're cornering too. I don't think most people know about some of the things that you do, like to decompress and like some of your pursuits outside of the gym too. But talk to me about From Porch Art and what art means inside of your life and how it folds into everything else that you do.
Yeah, man. So From Porch Art is like, it's mine and my dad's thing together. That's like my side hustle. You know what I mean? We do paintings, we do sign painting. My dad does a lot of different type of wood carvings. We do a lot of commission based stuff. If you check out our Instagram, it's front porch _art. A lot of the stuff on there that you'll see on there is commission based, but yeah, man, I think like I like to think of myself as some kind of a Renaissance man. I've been told. I didn't even know what that meant. I had to like look it up, but you spend a lot of time being like in this aggressive, violent state and violent mode, and everything's go and train hard and fight, and then you come home and it's like, you got to have something else. Some people have video games, and like, I don't hate on that. I love video games. Like some people have therapy. Some people have exercise. Fortunately, like my work is exercise. So right. Like the gym isn't my escape. You know what I mean? Like right. I work in a gym, so the gym isn't my escape. I grew up a graffiti artist. That was my like first form of art. Like that was what got me in all my trouble growing up for the most part, besides fighting, I was a graffiti artist. I grew up painting trains. I grew up painting freeways, doing my thing. And I've kind of learned to take that into different mediums and different forms of art and lettering and stuff like that. And it's my favorite thing to do besides martial arts, man. Like I love just sitting in my garage, my workshop, and painting. Like I could sit out there for hours. Like the neighbors will walk by and they'd be like, "You're still at it?" And I'd be out there. I was out there at noon, and they'll walk by at 11 to close their garage or something and be like, "Dude, you're still out here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be out here for another 3 hours. Like I'll be out here till 2 a.m. Yeah. Like for me, it's like if I could sit and smoke a little bit and fucking listen to my music and work on a painting. Like, it's my favorite place to be. You know what I mean? Like, I joke about it and say, like, one day I'm going to fucking sell a painting for a crazy amount of money. And then I'm going to sell a couple more. And then this is all I'm going to want to do. And I'm like, if I could just make this crazy money painting, I'd give up on the fighting thing. But I don't think I would ever leave the fighting thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's just how much it means to me. Like, I love it. And I love that it's something I do with my father. Like, my dad's my best friend. He's taught me so much with, you know, like outside of everything he's taught me about being a man, but like with art and with wood and working with tools and stuff like that. Like, I'm so grateful to have him in my life. Like, it's a cool experience. You know what I mean? We've painted logos for restaurants. We've painted signs for eyelash studios on PCH, where we drive by every day on PCH and you could just see our giant sign that me and him did. There's a gym in LA in Hawthorne that we painted their logo for them. And it's like those things, like, for as long as that business will be there, that sign will be there. And it's like, that's something me and my pop created together. And it's, you know what I mean? It's my favorite thing. Like, I love that more than I love martial arts. Spending time in like creating with him is my favorite thing to do, for sure.
There's one time I was drawing in high school. I was finishing up some project that I like left too long or whatever. And I always had an art class because I wanted somebody else to give me an excuse to create, right? Like, if somebody gave me a deadline and they were like, hey, make this thing, here's your parameters. I love that because now I had the excuse for myself to cut the time out and be like, instead of training, instead of doing whatever else, I have to get this art project done. And to be honest, I kind of miss that, to be like, because I've got it doesn't compete for my time anymore. But regardless, I had this deadline to do, and my dad and I were sitting in the living room, and I remember drawing for like 4 hours, probably finishing this piece up. And the whole time I was like locked into this drawing, but me and my pops are just chatting about everything, just like spinning the yarn the whole way down. And I finished the drawing up, show it to him, you know, he hypes me up or whatever on it. But I'm like cleaning up and he goes, hey man, I think that we have like our best conversations a lot of times when you're drawing. And I think it's because you've got like your hands occupied and you're focused on this thing. And so you're like rumination brain that's thinking about, you know, class and sports and this and that, and the other thing, that's turned off because it's focused on this thing. So you've got like this, I'm like, it's like, it's almost like I'm talking like directly to your subconscious. Like I can tap into this thing.
the other side of the brain or something.
Yeah. Do you and your pops has doing art together affected your guys' relationship in a big way?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, we're super close because of it. You know what I mean? Like, I hung drywall with him when I was 16, 17, 18. Like, so
I'll bring you close to, yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You dumb son of a bitch, bring me the fucking right tool. You know what I mean? Like,
then you look at it afterwards, like, hell yeah, dude, we did it.
Yeah, for sure. And now, but like, I'm so grateful for it because like the things I can do, like that I can fix at home, little things that I can, you know what I mean? I'm not some fucking contractor or anything like that. I'm not a framer, but like I can get stuff done that I would never have been able to get done if I didn't have those years working with him.
Right.
And then with the art is like, it's not so serious as like us working a fucking construction job. You know what I mean? Like we're having fun, we're free flowing, we're bullshitting, we're talking about life, we're talking about serious things, we're talking about funny things, like, or we're just not talking at all. And that sometimes that's when I feel it the most. I'll fucking cry. That's when I'll like feel that shit the most, is like when it's quiet and we're painting, you know what I mean? And I look at him and shit like, fuck. Fuck me, man. Watching your parents get old sucks, you know? And, yeah, fuck. This is fucking gay. Jesus, what a homo. Yeah. Like, the times when we're not talking is like, that's when I'm in my head thinking about everything like he's given me, you know? And, how grateful I am that I get to spend that time with him, and like, how fast that shit's going, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Seeing your parents get older.
It's fucking weird, dude. It's not a good one. That's for sure. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, there's an interesting there's an interesting thing, and I forget who I heard talking about it, but they were talking about the perceived amount of time that we have with our parents versus what we actually have, and how, especially like I haven't lived in the same state as my parents for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you're looking at it, it's like, all right, my parents are both, you know, 50, 55.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe.
Oh, you're so fucking lucky, bro.
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe I've got 30 years with them, right? I look at that and I'm like, all right, if I've got 30 years with them, great. I've got all the time in the world. But when I really break it down, I come home like twice a year. And each of those times my parents are divorced. So I'll probably see them, you know, maybe 2 times each. So I don't have 30 years with them. I've got 60 times per parent. That's it. Yeah. And when you break it down like that, it's like, it changes.
Heavy.
It changes a lot. I think what's cool about what you and your pops have built though, is the time that you've got left is so much more on a grand scale of things when you look at it that way, versus when it's like you're putting more life in the years instead of more years on life.
100%. I'm going to try and fucking do this without being a homo. Hold on. For me, it's like, I have a son due next month in 1 month. Fuck.
Congrats, man. That's huge.
Thank you. And like you said, you're like, oh, I have this long with them. And for me, it's like, my parents are 70 and oh, wow. If I'm lucky, they'll make it to my kids in high school, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. But that's life, right? Fuck.
How cool though for them to, first of all, congrats on being 1 month out, man. That's huge.
Thank you. Super excited.
How cool though for them to be in a position where they can like get raised with their grandparents. My little brother, man, he leaned on my grandparents like crazy. He was kind of the black sheep of the family a little bit, where all of us were athletes. We're all in the same kind of shit around the dinner table. We're all talking about the same stuff. And he just wasn't involved in any of it, right? He was a little gearhead since the time he was growing up, just absolutely loved being in the shop. And my grandpa always had classics that he was restoring.
Super cool.
And so it's one of the biggest regrets that I have, that my grandpa was always, he's like, we were the fucking joy in his eye, dude. And I just wasn't that into it. I was like, man, grandma's got snacks in the fucking house right now. And like, there's AC in there. I'm gonna go hang out with grandma for a little bit. But what I respect a ton about my brother is like, he saw the value in being able to just sit there and hand my grandpa tools and like chilling in the lawn chair afterwards, like with the garage door kicked open, having a fucking iced tea or whatever they're having. And I think that, well, I don't even know, he probably didn't like know he was doing it at the time, but the impact and the influence that my grandpa still has in his life is so cool, even though it was the same kind of timeline. You know, like he carries, this is my grandpa's ring, still wear that. And like him and I both carry so much from this dude. And it's because we were lucky enough that we grew up with our grandpa a block away. So to be in a spot where like you'll be able to have your son as part of those shop hangs, doing the art and stuff like that. What a cool fucking...
I'm excited for it. They're excited for it. My grandma is my mom's mom is like, she's like the rock of the family. You know what I mean? Like she held us together through a lot of hard times growing up. And she's still with us. She's going to turn 90 this year. The mental is kind of, she's got a little bit of dementia, and it's getting pretty tough. You know, like my mom has to stay with her and my uncle alternate who stays with her, but everything else with her is great. Like her vitals, like she's going to the pool and exercising, like, you know, like, and she's always in a good mood. We go over there, we play cards. But she's really the only grandparent that was fully present in our life. My mom's dad lived in Arizona when we were growing up, so we would see him few and far between. And then he passed when I was 15. We never knew my dad's dad. My dad's dad passed when my dad was 15.
Okay. So my grandpa passed too, yeah.
Yeah. And then my dad's mom passed when I was maybe 14 or something like that. So all my grandparents besides my mom's mom have been gone. So for my son to have my dad, my mom, my lady's mom around, you know, my lady's dad passed when she was younger, but he's going to have 3 grandparents around. So he's lucky. He's lucky, dude. It's hard for me to talk about my parents because they mean so much to me, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's a blessed position to be in, man.
yeah, it is. It really is.
So
I'm super lucky, and I'm super lucky that we made it out of everything we've went through, and where we all are now is like it's a blessing for sure.
I think that's one of the things, man, is the more people that I talk to who are exceptional now and have been through a lot of shit on the way to get there, almost everybody who I ask, like, would you change anything about it? The answer has never been yes. It's always been no, man, because that made us who we are today.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys were able to get through all of that, and now you guys are like closer for it. What does that feel like? Because it's not the see, Dad, I made it. You know,
I'd change a lot about myself if I could, the way I was when I was younger. Yeah. I didn't feel like this when I was younger. I cared about partying. I cared about what my friends were doing and what was cool. You know what I mean? And sometimes when I like sit and think about that shit and think about how old they are now and where we are now, it's like you fucked up when you were younger. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you could have had this relationship that you have with them now. Like, you could have had this for a lot longer. And like, it's my fault that it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, cause I was out fucking off and shit. So I just try and be like as present and as grateful as I can now.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the spot that you're at now with the kid coming in a month, walk me through what that's like, man.
Oh, shit, bro. Scary, super exciting. You know, I've been with my lady Madison for 8 years now, and she's wanted it forever. You know what I mean? She's wanted it since before me. Like, she's wanted to be a mom. That's all she's ever wanted in life. And me, like, that's not what I wanted when I met her. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted it eventually, you know, but it wasn't like something that I was ready to rush into. And then as I started getting older, it was just like seeing my friends raise kids, you know what I mean? Seeing how awesome it is. Like, my guy, Diego Paez, watching him with his son is like, it's something amazing. If you guys don't know who that is, like, check out Diego Paez and his son online. And like,
he's a huge inspiration to me, man.
It's crazy. He's such an amazing dad. Like, he's an amazing fighter. To me, he's one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world, and he's an even better dad than he is a fighter.
I probably once a week, I send my girl videos that Diego puts out with Elias, and I'm like, this is going to be me and my son one day.
It's incredible. Yeah. And like, I start to see that, you know what I mean? And like I said, Diego, when Elias was born, I would hold Elias in my arms before he was even 1. And I'd be yelling, running class while his dad and his uncles are out on the mat training, you know what I mean? And to see all of that, and then to see the growth and to see where they're at now, it's like, then it really started to give me like, okay, I need this. Like, I want this, like, this is cool. And then me and her started having the talks about doing it. And then when we decided to do it, it didn't take, you know, like when we full blown set on it, it didn't take too long. And now we're 4 weeks away, and little dude will be here, and it's going to be, it's going to be life changing, but it's going to be awesome, man. It's crazy. It's a whole different feeling. Like, I get emotional talking about my parents. The kid ain't even here yet, and I'll get emotional if we talk too much about it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I go and I'll stand in his bedroom and like look at the crib and everything we have set up, and it's like, poof, like, it's heavy. You know what I mean? It's heavy. Like, I'm responsible for a little human's life, and I need to really make sure now that like everything I do is calculated, and everything I do is for him and benefits him and my woman. And
yes,
I think I'm good at being selfless. You know what I mean? My job has made me good at being selfless. So I think I'll be okay in literally devoting everything I do to them too.
Yeah, dude, I was about to say that exact same thing. Is like, what a blessing for that kid that he comes into the world with a pops who's had years and years and years of putting other people first, and like your mission being putting other people on. That's huge. I was thinking as you were saying that too about like the moments that you're going to have watching Jeff sign his contract, and, you know, some of the mountaintop moments that you've had with some of your guys. And I'm so excited to watch you have some of those with your boy, man. I'm sure that some of them are going to be tiny too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're going to be the things that like don't make it on the TV.
Best things, bro. They'll be the best
coolest
things for sure. Like, you know, I talk about, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for him to do this or be able to do this. But it's like, I need to remind myself that like, yes, you can wait. Like, you don't want this to go by fast. Like, man, life goes by fast enough as it is. Like, I'm watching my parents get wrinkly. Like, I don't want to watch him not be a baby. You know what I mean? I want him to be a baby for a long time, you know, like I'm not in a rush to see him start training martial arts. Like I'm good with watching him just lay on his back and crawl around. And like, I like for every stage to go by fucking slow as molasses. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But yeah, I think from what I can tell from my buddies, it seems like kids just absolutely like rip you into the present moment. And that's got to be one of the biggest blessings, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be, I'm very fortunate that I have the lady that I have, you know, she's there's like videos of her when she's a little kid, like little kid, and them asking her what she wants to be when she's older. And she's like, I want to be a mommy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all she wants. She was a nanny all through high school. She was a nanny all through nursing school. That's her only job she's ever had, is taking care of young children. And now she's an RN in the mother to baby ward. So it's like, I've literally married a professional.
I was gonna say, you've got a superstar, dude.
She's got a professional protector and I have a professional mom. You know what I mean? So it's like, we complement, we're like the yin and yang, like my aggressive, outspoken lifestyle. And like, you know, I'm being very, you haven't asked me anything controversial. So, but I'm being very mild here. You know what I mean? But I have me and her, like the yin and yang, you know what I mean? She's my peace, dude. She keeps me calm. She's a very mellow girl. You know, she's amazing. And, I'm just very excited to watch her. This is her dream. You know what I mean? Not that it's not my dream, but like, this is her dream. Like, this is what she wants. And it's what I want too, of course. But like, I know what this means to her. And like, I'm so excited to watch it for her.
Yeah. How cool for her to have ridden for you, as long as she has in your dreams, and then you get to turn around and do the same thing, man.
And we had a long distance relationship for pretty much all of it. And you know what I mean? Until recently moving in together, like, been together 8 years, making an 1.5 hour drive to see each other.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to feel good on so many fronts then.
Yeah, dude, it's the best, bro. It's the best. Like I'm super, super lucky. I'm super fortunate. Like life's really good right now. You know what I mean? Like, I know I said earlier, like, oh, I haven't reached what I want to reach monetarily as a coach or anything like that, but that shit all comes and goes. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it doesn't matter. I'll never not have a roof over my head. I'll never allow that. Like, I'm a hard worker, so that's not even like a thing. Like, even if I had to quit everything right now and fucking work at an office or work bagging groceries, like, I'll never not make ends meet for my family. But to be where me and her are at right now, and to see her about to do what she wants to do more than anything in the world, is like, I'm so hyped to give her that. You know what I mean?
Like, heck yeah, man. That's the coolest. Yeah, there's something that Will said to me one time, my head coach, and I do some of the marketing at the gym and stuff like that. And I was asking him at one point, I had some project we've been talking about for a while or whatever. And I was like, hey man, do you want to launch that? Like, I've got everything ready, blah, blah, blah. And he looks at me, he was like, honestly, bro, I'm good for a little bit. Like, what do you mean? Like, we've been talking about doing this thing for a bit. He was like, dude, right now in this season of my life, everything's going how it's supposed to. Like, everything feels like a win. I got this thing to happen in my business. My family life is good. Like, everything's chilling. And I just don't want to fuck with that right now. He's like, I want to sit. He's like, there's always something where there's a challenge or something going on. And right now it feels like it's just like, it's calm. So I want to actually take my time and enjoy that. And it was one of the first times it hit me like a sack of bricks, because I was like, every time the water calms out for me, I'm like, perfect. Now we've got more time that we can like attack this project.
Yeah.
And I create problems for myself immediately, dude.
I'm the same way, dude.
Yeah. So it's cool to hear that in this phase of your life, it seems like the water's kind of getting calm for you. And
at home, the water's calm at home. Right. The water's never really calm at work. You know what I mean? But yeah, the water's calm at home, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm excited to see just her be in her element, where she's like always wanted to be, you know, like, she's an amazing woman and she's been amazing to be with for 8 years. And I can't imagine how she's going to be when she gets what she's wanted more than anything in the world. You know what I mean? Like, this is what she's wanted more than anything in the world. And I'm going to get to witness it and see what it does to her. And I'm really excited for it.
So cool. Well, dude, you've been a part of so many mountaintop moments for yourself, with other people. And a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are people who have some kind of calling that they're chasing. And I think that success means a lot of different things to different people. And a lot of people are still trying to figure out what exactly that looks like. Having been a part of so many mountaintop moments in your personal life, your professional life, whatever, what does success mean to you if you had to define it as like an all-encompassing thing?
I mean, success is being happy, right? Like just being happy, being content, not being content, but being happy with where you're at. Like, I don't feel I need $1 million or more in the bank to be successful. Like, I come home to a woman that loves me with a baby in her belly. Both my parents are still alive. My little brother's my best friend. Like, I'm successful, man. Like, I own a gym. I got a bunch of athletes that trust me. I'm a millionaire. I don't need the money to be a millionaire, you know?
Mic drop, dude. We'll leave it there.
Hell
yeah, man. Well, this is a lot of fun. Everybody will know where to find you. We'll throw it in the description, all that kind of stuff. But thanks for making the time,
of course,
dude.
man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fun. All right. Adios, everybody.